We gonna rise for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance. Dr. Johnson.
Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this awesome opportunity you have given us to live and to move and to have our being. We thank you for the minds and the hearts that are around this council table and in this council chamber. We ask, Lord God, that you bless Marlboro County, bless our leaders, bless us as we continue to work on behalf of the least of these, our brethren. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. I'd like to welcome everybody to our annual meeting. Approval of agenda items, council members, any changes, amendments?
Move to approve agendas printed.
Second. Okay, any questions? All in favor, show of hands. Approval of minutes, January 14th, 2025. Any changes, omission, additions?
Motion approved.
Second. Motion have been made and second. Any discussion? All in favor, show of hands. Unanimous. Presentation. We got anybody from the delegation here today? Okay, not seeing anybody. Trinity Behavior Care, offer Young Drug Prevention Program. Please rise and go to the podium, please.
Good evening. My name is Ebony Manning. I'm with Trinity Behavior Care. We are now finally open this past Monday for our opening services, and I work in prevention for Marlboro County.
And I'm Officer Young. I'm the prevention officer with the Marlboro County Sheriff's Department. So, a little bit about what we do. We've been dealing with an overdose issue and it's affecting our community. OD-MAP shows that 9 overdoses in Marlboro County in the month of January. In each case, Narcan was used either once or twice in some cases. Statistics are alarming, but behind each number is a person or a loved one who could be saved by using Narcan. Narcan is easy to use and can be administered by anyone, even without medical training. It comes in the form of a nasal spray. Imagine being able to save a life with just a few simple steps.
And quickly, the steps are: identify opioid overdose and check for responses. Signs of an overdose is a person not waking up or responding to your voice or touch. Breathing is very slow, irregular, has stopped. Center part of their eye is very small. Call pinpoint of the pupils. Lay the person on their back to receive a dose of Narcan nasal spray. Give Narcan nasal spray. Hold the Narcan nasal spray with your thumb to the bottom of the plunger and first middle fingers on the side of the nostril. Gently insert the tip of the nozzle into either nostril. Press the plunger firmly to give the dose of Narcan nasal spray. Call for emergency medical help, evaluate the supports to help support. Also, watch the person closely in the meantime while 911 is on the way. If the person does not respond by waking to voice or touch or breathing normally, another dose may be given. Narcan nasal spray may be doses every 2 to 3 minutes if available. Repeat steps. Again, using Narcan nasal spray to give another dose if the nostril, if sprays available. Repeat 2 to 3 minutes until the person responds and emergency medical help is received. Let's continue to work together to combat the crisis by educating ourselves and others about Narcan. This will allow us to help reduce the numbers and overdose deaths in our communities. Remember, every life saved is a victory for our community. And tonight we brung 24 kits of Narcan and pamphlets for anyone who is interested. Also, at any of our Trinity locations, we do provide Narcan. So if you need some, you're able to just walk in and ask for Narcan and we'll be able to assist you. And we're also in the schools in Marlboro County talking about overdose, prescription drugs, and over-the-counter meds. And believe me, the kids are aware. Starting at 4th grade, they are aware. So our job is to be a preventative, evidence-based, too good for drugs, to educate our community so they can go home and have the conversation with their parents. Thank you.
One question, do you have a phone number?
Yes, I do. I have my phone.
Okay. Go ahead and you share it, cause we live anyway, they can get it.
Okay, my contact number is 843-617-0550. And my email is emanning@trinitybehaviorcare.org.
Thank you, ma'am.
And mine is 843-897-4079, and my email is s.young@marlborocounty.ac.gov.
Okay, thank you. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
We got in our president today, the city administrator, Mr. William Simon Jr. Thank you for coming.
Again, for those who don't know me, I'm William Simon Jr., a city administrator here at the city of Bennettsville, serving proudly and happy to be here. On behalf of Mayor Abraham, he could not be here tonight, so he sends his apologies. He had a prior engagement, but I just spoke with him about an hour ago. He really wanted to be here tonight, just to be present here. I want to personally thank Administrator Clyburn for the invite, just to say a few words to all of you and be part of this meeting. And again, just want to thank you, Mr. Chair and council members, and say congratulations to all of you just for getting a good start in the new year. So I certainly appreciate that. So just want to say, in a lot of cases, cities and counties, and especially in our case here in the city of Bennettsville and Marlboro counties and some of our surrounding towns, we have common goals. We all are working towards some of the same things. We all want to see economic development. We all want to see more housing. We all want to see more jobs, better quality of life for our seniors, for our children, and others. We are stronger when we work together, when we share ideas, when we share procedures, things that work here, did not work here. That is how we are successful. I can't tell you how much I enjoy working and speaking with Administrator Clyburn as often as we speak, bouncing ideas off of each other, talking about the things that could work here, that might work here, things that we've done in the past, and so forth. It's such a breath of fresh air to be able to have those discussions and allow us to think critically. I think that's so important for growth. But before I leave you, I just want to give you some priorities of the city. We all know that one of our priorities is downtown development. We are working hard, trying to get businesses to come to our downtown area. If you've noticed, we've done a lot with cleaning downtown. That goes a long way. We have a huge project that's on the way that will probably be started in March of April, where we're changing out light posts and putting in benches and putting in new landscaping, things just to beautify our city. Another one of our priorities are our blighted areas. Just know we are going to be identifying those areas, dilapidated homes, overgrown vegetation, storm drains, and other features that have not been cleaned out in a while. We're going to be laser focused on those things. And another one of our priorities, because we have several, but I'm just naming a few tonight, quality of life, our parks and recreation, putting resources back into our parks so that for one, they are safe, and for two, they can be used by everyone again and be a feature or an attraction for the city and the county. So once again, we're all working towards the same thing, and I'm just so proud to be able to stand here before all of you tonight and work with Administrator Clyburn, and just know that sharing these ideas is how we grow. Sharing our success stories and those things that we fail at is how we grow. So on behalf of the city of Bennettsville, we just want to say hello to everyone. We stand ready to work with all of you to include our towns directly and any other state agencies or local agencies or nonprofits. We are ready for collaboration. So again, I just want to thank you for allowing us to be part of this meeting tonight.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mr. Simon. We appreciate that. Want to go ahead and move to the public notices?
Yes, This part of the meeting is public notice, ordinance number 849, an ordinance to provide for the issuance and sale of not exceeding $900,000 general obligation bond of Marlboro County, South Carolina, to prescribe for the purpose for which the proceeds of said bond shall be expended, to provide for the payment of said bond and other matter related thereto. Public notice. Mr. Clyburn?
I think this is called for public hearing. Do we have anybody that like to speak on? Anyone signed up for that?
Okay, no, I got nobody to sign up on it. Okay, hearing none. That is closed. We got recognition of the city council before council. We have nobody to sign up. At this time, we got executive session. I need a motion to go into executive session to discuss contractual matters.
Motion. Second.
Mr. Chair, can we be specific what our contractual matter we'll be talking about? Is it going to be economic
On
development?
contractual matter, it's based by contractual, based on the administrator.
Okay.
Second.
Motion been made in second. All in favor? Okay. We will be back.
3 minutes. 3 minutes.
3 minutes or so.
Chairman, I move we come out of executive session.
Motion been made and second. We are out of executive session, back in open session. Okay, old business. Old business number 849. The ordinance to provide for the issuing and sale not to exceed 900,000 general obligation bond of Marlboro County, South Carolina, to prescribe the purpose for which the proceeds of the said bond shall be expended, to provide for the payment of said bond and other matters related thereto. Second reading.
This is just a GO bond that we all talked about and agreed on, and it's just next reading for that.
Okay, may I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Motion has been made and second. All in favor? Unanimous. Ordinance number 850, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and Project Wire. Provide for a payment of a fee in lieu of taxes and other matter related thereto. This is the second reading also.
This is one of our economic development projects that deals mostly with infrastructure, but this is a company that we would like to make sure that we are working with. This is the second reading, so we've already agreed on the first reading.
Okay.
Mr. Minister, has the language been changed in regards to the fee in lieu? Have there been some updates to the language of how we engage in fee in lieu?
So that's something that we have to do as an ordinance that will be done. I think we'll do that by park. So fee and lieu are, it's used with the park, with the multi-county park, but we're gonna do it each park at a time. Darlington, Marlboro, and then Dillon, Marlboro, and that'll include everything in those parks. So we'll do two of those ordinances, and that will come probably hopefully in March. We'll start that. But we have to do 3 readings on that because it's for ordinance. But thanks.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve ordinance number 850.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous. Ordinance number 851, an ordinance of the County of Marlboro, an ordinance of the County Council for Marlboro County, South Carolina, approving an agreement with Pathway Physician Texas, PLLC, and authorizing the implementation of a voluntary opt-out, opt-in program, and providing a severability clause, providing a repealer clause, and providing an effective date. Second reading.
This is again a telemedicine. It's the telemedicine project that we've been wanting to bring to Marlboro County. I think everyone here knows the importance of having access to medical care, and since we are a county without a lot of facilities in this county, it's very important for our citizens to be able to have that option to have telemedicine. And so this is the second reading of something that we all agreed that would be something very vital for our community. So I'm hoping that we can just go ahead and move this forward.
Motion to accept ordinance 851.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous. New business. Ordinance number 860, authorizing pursuant to Title 12, Chapter 44 of the Code of Law of South Carolina, 1976, as amended, the execution and delivery of fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and Project Cloud, sponsor, and one or more sponsor affiliates, to provide for a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes incentive and certain special revenue credit for the benefit of a project in the county and other related matters. This is the first reading.
This is just one of our economic development projects, and as we go further, we'll get more specific, on that project. This is the first reading.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 860.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Unanimous. Resolution 02-2501, a resolution identifying a project to satisfy the requirement of Title 12, Chapter 44 of South Carolina Code of Law, committing to negotiate a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes and incentive agreement between Marlboro County and the county known to the county as Project Wire, identifying the project and other matter related thereto. This is a resolution.
This is again relating to our project, Project Wire. This is one of our newer economic development projects. And again, it's just an inducement resolution to move that forward.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve resolution 022501.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution acceptance? Unanimous? Thank y'all. Ordinance number 861, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of an infrastructure credit agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and the company currently identified as Project Bellamy, providing for the issuance and certain infrastructure credits to offset payment in lieu of taxes, authorizing an economic development grant pursuit to the term of a performance agreement to be entered into and between the county and the company, and addressing other matter related thereto. This is the first reading, title only.
So this is one of our economic development projects that, once we finish that, everyone will be very happy to hear about. And this is something that we will, it's going from a fee and lieu situation to where it's infrastructure credits instead. Just because of the way the expansion is being done, it just makes more sense to do the infrastructure credits. We get more back from the state government on a reimbursement. And so that's why we changed it. We already had a first reading on this, but because we are changing the way it's being done, we want to go ahead and change that to an infrastructure credit as opposed to a FILO. So we have to do a new reading on that one.
Motion to accept resolution 2-25-02.
We are ordinance 861.
861.
I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Ordinance 861.
Okay.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Thank you. Ordinance number 862, an ordinance authorizing the execution and delivery of an infrastructure credit agreement by and between Marlboro County, South Carolina, and a company currently identified as Project Camouflage, providing for the issuance of certain infrastructure credits to offset payment in lieu of taxes, authorizing the inclusion of certain properties in a multi-county industrial park, and addressing other matters related thereto. First reading, title only.
It's another one of our expansions here locally that people are very happy to hear about once it does. And again, the same situation, it was a fee in lieu, but doing it as a FILO is probably not going to be the best for us as a county, so we're going to do it in infrastructure credits so that we get that reimbursement from the state. And so that's why that changed, and we have to do a first reading again for that one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Move ordinance 862.
Second.
Motion and made second. Any discussion? All in favor? That is unanimous. Appointment to boards and commissions. We have any appointments today? Okay, we got no appointments. We got no.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I do want to add that I do see it fitting that the council, the executive committee, that we meet about some of these boards, because we do have some action on some of the boards that we need to make sure that we are in tune with, and to make sure we set a date for them to come and report to the council, because these boards are appointed by the council and they should answer to the council. So we will make sure that happens very shortly.
Okay.
We want to get with the executive committee to make sure that can happen.
Okay, we'll do.
Thank you for pointing that out, because I suggested that last year. We are the people who appoint these people for the board, but never do we hear anything back from them. So I do think some reports should be given this year.
Okay. All right, we had, no bids, on the county this month. Reports, Mr. Westport, finance report, please, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the council. You have before you financial report as of January 31, 2025. General fund revenues total $7,394,959 in comparison to $5,963,710 for the same 7 months ending for the prior year. General fund expenditures through January 31 of 2025 total $9,632,913 of a $14,748,543 budget, or 65.31% of budget year to date. General fund expenditures total $8,376,998 for the same 7 months period for the prior year. In conclusion, revenues are higher due to timing issues with collections of fee and lieu income and intergovernmental state income. Expenditures are higher in comparison to last year because of increased budget and higher cost. I don't know if there's any questions about the financial report.
I just want to ask this question. I can well see that we're over
Right.
budget. I can see that.
Yes.
So when this fiscal year ends, do you anticipate it's gonna get better or it's gonna get worse?
Well, I think it'll actually get better. One of the things is we do have some front loading of expenditures, particularly in non-departmental where we pay for our property insurance up front. We have some other costs that we pay effectively in advance. So even though we're at 65% right at this point in time, we also have an issue too with the fact that we've got, even though we're 7 out of 12 months, we've got more payroll. In January, for example, there were 3 pay periods, so our payroll expense is a little bit higher in the current month. So I do think things are going to get better. We know that we're going to have some increased revenue, but we will still have expenditures that will exceed our increases in revenue. And we kind of went through that in our sessions earlier today, but yeah.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, with these going up and over, would ask the administrator to look closely at all departments and, like I said, if there's some that's real out of balance, at least, notify and get back so we potentially can save, but we can potentially go over. So we need to try to get as close to budget as possible if we could, especially knowing we're already over a lot right now.
We're $800,000 over.
In comparison to the prior year, yes.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I know we've got a larger budget too this year over, in comparison to the prior year, but still, it's significantly over.
I have a question, if I may, on the delinquent tax. I was talking to a gentleman that he had he didn't qualify for exemption, and he come back anyway. He said whenever he got his check, tried to cash the check, he said we didn't have the funds there. What happened? How does that work? Because I don't know.
That was a very odd situation. What happened, and it had to do with the with the transaction with the treasurer. And what happened was we had a we do something called positive pay, and for whatever reason that particular payment failed. Then when they went to return the payment, we had already refunded. We had to do a transfer from a general fund account in order to actually refund his money, because what happened was the payment was issued in December, and we had already kind of cleared the books, so to speak.
We have to clear the books from the delinquent tax, and the tax sale. We have to clear that and get that to the treasurer. But what we should be doing is keeping back a little bit, some of that, just in case we have to make refunds. And we had to make a refund, but that money had already been sent to the treasurer. what she disperses it in the way that she does.
So the delinquent tax goes into a separate account, or where does it go?
It does
Right.
go into a separate bank account, and then what happens is, at the end of the month, then the treasurer disperses it, whatever the collections are to all the taxing entities. And the issue was, it was a pretty significant overpayment.
Right.
It was, for whatever, we got a notification from DOR, to do abate that tax fee, the actual tax. It was an exempt organization. It was like a $40,000 abatement, and those funds have already been dispersed to the various taxing authorities.
So all the delinquent tax funds, the revenues that come in, at the end of the next month, it's automatically dispersed
It's
to,
dispersed, yeah.
so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, and that really was unusual. It's
Yeah.
the first time that's happened since I've been here, where we had a DOR do an abatement, and the timing just happened to hit after we had already dispersed all the funds from the previous month. So that was the reason why that happened. But yeah.
Mr. Parks, in your opinion, do we have the proper checks and balances in place to maybe catch those issues before they become an issue?
In this scenario, it was so unusual. I have to say that most situations we would clearly catch that, and I just think that this is something that came up that was so unique that
That was the only one we had.
that was the only
Okay.
one we had. Yeah.
But outside of that issue?
Outside of that issue, yeah, we have, I think, very good checks and balances with, our financial systems and records. And one of the things is, obviously, last month we've got our audit report. One thing you find too is that we've really never been delinquent on getting our reporting done, which is very critical. So, yeah.
So March 15th is what we call the final date for the 15% for people to go ahead and pay their,
That's correct. Then they become delinquent.
then they become a delinquent. So that property is then what?
Well, what happens when they become delinquent, then they're scheduled for property tax sale, including cost and stuff that's added to that particular notice. And so a lot of times what will tend to happen is there'll be a little bit of a rush in October before the tax sale. People come in and pay the notices, including the cost. And then if they don't, then of course it'll go through the sale, assuming that someone actually bids on the tax certificate.
So from March 16th all the way to October,
Right.
they still have time to go in and pay their
They
fees,
still
right?
have time to go
But-
in.
But once that October, I think it's 15th also, I'm not sure.
Right.
But when that date comes up for the property sale, then their property could be redeemed by someone, is that right?
What happens too, at that point in time, then the bidder on that tax certificate then is able to earn interest on that certificate for the following year. And then assuming that the owner of the property redeems within that year's time, of course, they've got to pay the tax, the delinquency, the penalties, the cost, and the interest. So,
What I'm saying is, if we do not get a lot of people to pay their taxes, would that not be revenue that we're not gonna be getting?
well, typically what's going to happen at the sale, we're going to receive it.
No.
But then, there may be a period of time that we allow the owner of that property to redeem that certificate, so that those funds are just kind of set aside.
So if someone pays their taxes in the delinquent tax sale, those funds go back into the regular account if they was regularly paying their taxes, or is it a separate account?
It goes into the delinquent tax sale. If it happens you know, at the sale. But if it happens prior to that, it just goes to the delinquent tax collection.
My reason for bringing that up, okay, after March, so we have April, May, June, before the budget ends clear. If we don't collect any revenue then, will that not cause a shortage for us?
Well, usually the level of delinquency, we've kind of got that factored into our budget.
Okay.
So normally, what we're not seeing is we're not seeing a significant spike in delinquency. We know it's a little bit of a timing issue. We'll end up collecting those funds later. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any more questions about the report? I just included some other reports on cash balances. That's a 3-page report here. I don't know if you have any questions regarding that. And of course, the balances are divided up among the general fund, proprietary fund, capital projects, and debt service. And then the second page is our special revenue funds. And then the third page is the fiduciary funds.
So those cash balances, are they current to what when you broke those down to us as far as what those in those accounts, are they the current
They're
figures
as of the end of the month.
as of January?
January 31, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Park.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Ms. Clyburn, administrative report.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to start by apologizing for last month's video that we put up of the meeting. People were not able to see parts of it and to hear most of it. And so just know that we have done some improvements on that system. I appreciate it, Steve, the improvements that we've done. And so you'll get a much better product with those meetings. And we're actually going to enhance it quite a bit, the video and the audio aspect, so you can hear it even clearer than before. So look forward to making sure that our citizens are able to see and hear what's going on in here, even though they're not present. I do want to thank the City of Bennettsville and the Sheriff Department for the help once again for our warming shelter that we had to do. Even after the one we talked about on January 14th, we had another incident after that. And, as always, when I called on the city and they called on us to put this together, it went together pretty smoothly. And I just called the sheriff and said, hey, we need someone to cover. And it was seamless. And we do appreciate the city for working with us on that. And we use the community center to do that. And he's always said that that's open whenever we have these incidents. And not just for Bennettsville residents, but for everyone around the county. And we're going to develop as we go. It takes time and money, but we're going to develop some other shelter options for people who are a little further out. But right now, that's what we have, the Community Center of Bennettsville, and we appreciate them letting us use that for all of our citizens. Next thing I want to talk about is our county rodeo, April 11th to 12th. Once again, as I said last month, we look forward to that, and we look forward to Councilman Woods on the mechanical bull. And so make sure you come out. Vendors are welcome. We do have a lot of spaces for vendors. Deshauna, there she goes. She'll be taking those phone calls. And we do have a lot of spaces left for vendors. It will be held at our Marlboro County Fairgrounds at 999 Fayetteville Avenue Extension East. And so that's where we had it last year, but it'll be further in the back. And we're working on that site now. It's going to be a really good event. So we look forward to putting that on. The next thing I want to talk about is our aquatic center. We approved that some time ago, and we had a groundbreaking ceremony last March. And again, that was just a ceremony, but we haven't really broken any ground on that thing. But it's out to bid, going out to bid very shortly. And we'll be back in time to get it finished before the required time for the money that was given by the state. And That's one of the stipulations that we gave our engineering company. And also, we're gonna have a little more discussion on the operation and the fees and making sure that that thing is something that we can, we'll make sure that we're doing what we can to afford it and for this operation. And if we have to do certain things to make sure that happens, we will do that. So, just wanted to let you know that that was still in the works. Let the citizens know. I know that sometimes things are planned and they don't come to fruition, but this is not gonna be one of them. We are going to make sure we see it through, all the way. Any questions about anything?
In your report, could you just elaborate on the cleanup, community cleanup project?
I was gonna let you talk about it,
Okay, but I know,
Yeah,
I was
so-
gonna talk about it, but I do think it's worth mentioning.
yeah, I wanna go ahead and mention that we are, we're working to make sure that our community is cleaned up. We have some trash in areas, and we have officers that are out there now. They're picking up bags, they're going through them, and they're not issuing tickets, but they are contacting the owners and making sure that, you know, this doesn't happen again. But if it gets to a certain level, we will make sure we get an officer over there to issue citations for, and I mean, we had a lot of bags, just straight trash bags and stuff on the side of the road. And listen, you know, we ask a lot of the citizens of Marlboro County when it comes to paying taxes and being patient with us to do things. But we want to ask the citizens to make sure that you are taking pride in where you are, where you live. Don't just throw trash bags out on the side of the road. Listen, there's no excuse for that. No matter how hard times are, there's no excuse to take a whole big trash bag of household trash and throw it on the side of the road. And we are very disappointed about that. However, we're working to clean those things up. And we do want to thank the Sheriff's Department for helping us with the inmate assistance program. And we're going around different areas. We did take care of behind the food line area and then some areas off of Marshall Street. And then we're going to go out, I believe, on 38 and then 15401 as well. But then we're going to get around the whole county. I know there's some areas in the rural parts of Wallace that have some trash on those roads. We're going to get all over the county. We're going to do every district, and we're going to make sure that stuff gets cleaned up. But I do want to ask that the citizens give us some assistance on that, and just don't throw household trash bags full out onto the roads and out onto some of these dumping areas that people, you know, dump in. We're going to be cracking down on that, and we're going to actually use deer cameras and everything to make sure that doesn't become, or that doesn't continue to be a norm in Marlboro County.
Because if we utilize those the litter laws and the fines, that could help.
Oh yeah, we
Because some
are.
of those fines up to $200 and $500.
Yes, we are going to be utilizing that, and it's not just to get after people and try to make money for us, but we have to deter people from just throwing whole bags of trash. And it's not just 1 or 2 bags. Sometimes it's maybe a truckload of bags, just throwing it out somewhere. And so we have to deter that some sort of way, and we are going to be fining, you know, depending on how much it is, we will be fining people for that trash when we find out who it is. But that's one thing I did want to, I wanted you to mention that as far as what you want to talk about, but yeah, that's something that we want to make sure that everyone understands.
Okay. Anything else for Mr. Clyburn?
That'll be it. I just want to mention Mr. Woods.
Here you go.
and all of the Dallas Cowboy fans, you know, my condolences for having to watch us win another title on Sunday night, you know, when you haven't done anything in a while. So I just wanted to add that in. Thank you, sir.
How many I won? That 2?
Enough.
Just 2. How about the Cowboys? We got more than 2. We got more than 2. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I know that was coming though. Already, these are council members. Mr. Midgley, let's start with you.
I have nothing this evening.
Okay. Ms. Lobson?
Yes, sir. I have 4 points that I would like to bring out. Number 1 is I want to let my district know that I'm in the process of creating a quarterly or maybe a semi-annual newsletter, because we're missing that from the county. And for my district, I just know that I wanted to give updates on what's going on and some events that will be happening. I would like that our district do a countywide cleanup, district-wide cleanup, and looking forward to that time and getting with, Public Works and everybody else, but pushing that and, looking for, the opportunity to make sure that our neighborhoods are clean. And with that, I want to, it's in place now, but it was a process that happened in 2023 when Judge Weaver and the Sheriff Department and the administration team came together to implement this, what we call this community service work with the inmates. And they have been picking up. I started on Marshall Street and went back to get the rest of it, and it was picked up, and I'm appreciative Firestone has been taken care of, but we do want to thank you for starting this, and I understand that inmates are out there about all day, 4 or 5 hours, 5 hours. So thank you for that, and I do appreciate that is happening because this county is trashy. We all know every area of this county, and if we want to attract businesses and attract anybody, we need to clean up our community. I know the city is planning to have something in the spring about a citywide cleanup, but that affects Bennettsville. I hope and pray that we can look at something for the entire county, tires and debris and all that, but if not, I do want District 4 to know that I have volunteers already ready to say we want to clean up our 15401 bypass, those corridors, so I would like to push that. The third thing I want to say to my people in District 4 about the waste connection. I've made contact with them. I've asked them will they be willing to put pods out and things out to help clean up our county. They did follow up with us, but I want District 4 to know. I know that just last week, we were late, but be patient, call them if it is late, but we're trying to say, I want you to keep a record on how many times you're late so we can continue to encourage that we need good services. So I need everybody to know that. I have 3 community events that's scheduled for the community, and when I say yes, I may have started it, but thank God everybody can be a part of it. One is going to be on February the 12th from 1 o'clock to maybe about an hour. It's going to be at the Bennettsville Community Center. It's going to be how to avoid your property from going into probate, and that's going to be with Judge McCoy and representatives from the credit union and also from people from the Family First Insurance Services, and that's free. February the 13th, 1 o'clock at the Marion Wright Elderman Library, and I think Gerardo is here tonight, but we're going to have members from tap into healthcare through telehealth pathways. It's an informational session. You can get the information about how telehealth is going to work and enhance your life and better your life. It's going to be free at the library. Some door prizes are going to be given away, so please try to come if you can. He'll be brief, but he'll be on target and maybe answer some questions that you may not be aware of. And that's going to be something that one day this whole council will be all pushing that, but that's going to be for this time, for February. February the 18th, I want to stress this important date because for the month of February, for those of us who do not know, and especially women, heart disease is the #1 killer. So we're having a workshop in the Marion Wright Elderman Library, heart disease in women, 1 o'clock. I want to ask that we all look at that. And I also want to thank God to celebrate and honor, even though history tries to change things, but I want to honor Black History Month. And that's why I thank the Marlboro Public Library and the Historical Museum over there with Miss Lynn McQueen. They had a good event Sunday. Hidden Figures was shown. The 23rd, they're going to have another movie, Harriet, is going to be shown. And in March, is trying to bring in the history. So I do appreciate our county for understanding that culture, that the Black history culture is important. And I do want to say thank you for that. And lastly, but not least, I want to thank everyone who wearing red today for not just for Valentine, but for the fact that heart disease is a #1 killer. So if you have mothers and daughters, aunts, please understand, this workshop is free because it's different in a heart disease in a woman than it is a man. So if you want to come, please come out, and then it's gonna be Zoom, and you can catch it on Zoom. So, thank you, and I'm very thankful for how some activities that I know it seemed like Mr. Steen and I might have been in a competition about who wanted to have a community meeting, but thank God the day gonna come when all of us will be having community meetings. So, I won't be just sponsoring these things, all of us will be sponsoring together. Thank you.
Dr. Johnson?
First, I want to say thank you to the staff of Marlboro County for what you all do on a daily basis. We understand that you have a tremendous task ahead of you, but we do appreciate the work and the efforts that Mr. Clyburn and the entire Marlboro County staff put on. Thank you to our first responders, our sheriff department, EMS, and all those who continue to fight for our county. We heard the statistics about the overdose. Marlboro County has a drug problem. We have a substance abuse problem that is affecting, it may not affect you personally, but it's affecting you in some type of way. Please be in prayer for those who are struggling with addiction. As a counselor, I see it every single day, and too often people don't make it out of addiction related causes, especially in the McCall area with the overdoses. It's bad. It's worse than you can probably imagine. So please be in prayer for those who are on the front line with prevention, those who are on the front line with interventions that we can help continue to eradicate the addiction. With that being said, I'm continually getting calls in District 2 about some of the roads. We've addressed this a couple of different times, but when they call me, I'm bringing it to our attention. Edgefield Lane and Donald Lane. We've spoken to the administrator about those particular roads. Please, at some point, just go, if not Edgefield, Donald Lane, that road is impassable. And we have a lot of citizens who are off the beaten path, and they deserve some attention as well. We know we can't do everything at all times, but, those roads need some attention. Edgefield, the entrance 385 is a busy highway. And that road sometimes needs to be widened. I'm not sure if, and we can go back and forth with DOT if it's our responsibility, if it's DOT responsibility. I don't care who responsibility it is. Let's provide some type of attention if we can, to be able to widen that roadway so when residents are trying to leave that area, they can leave it safely without having that traffic. Also, I'm getting calls about when we had the unprecedented storms a couple of months back. On 385 they had unprecedented flooding, and they told me they contacted the line that we told them to contact about emergency funding, but they haven't heard anything. So if any information about, I know we spoke briefly about what can be done, but they're saying they contact EMS during that time period, but hadn't had any follow-up about, some of the properties that was flooded. So any information that you can give me to be able to give to those citizens who were affected, by that, whether it's FEMA funding or some other type of funding, I want to get back with those residents who, who've been affected. Thank you to our citizens who constantly come and show their faces and continue to be informed about what's going on. Please believe it doesn't go unnoticed. We need more and more of our citizens to understand that what we're doing up here is just not for show. We're really and truly trying to improve our county, not for the future, but for the present. And we continue to need your ideas. We continue to need your attendance and your support and your ideas on how we can make your lives better. We know some of the initiatives that we're trying to do here as a county, but we still want to hear from you. We want to make sure that your ideas and your visions implemented in this county because you continue to have to live here. Some of us would never leave Marlboro County, and we want to make sure that we improve the lives. So if you're here, you get the best bang for your buck of being here. Again, Ms. Lawson alluded to, we know that there's a big push on eradicating DEI, type stuff. But for me in my house, we're going to be DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and that's inclusive of everything. Not just race. But we are celebrating Black History Month this year, and we appreciate the accomplishments of history here in Marlboro County, not just, abroad. Mr. Clyburn has made history being the first African-American county administrator. Mr. Simon is the first black city administrator. Those things shouldn't go unnoticed. And we appreciate the effort that you two have brought to our county in collaboration and working together. And we're just looking for greater for everybody in Marlboro County. So we can continue to work on behalf of everybody in Marlboro County to see our county improve.
Thank you, sir.
Just kind of want to thank all the staff for all the hard work they do for putting these meetings together and all the documentation and following up questions and responses. I want to say thank you for that. As Ms. Lawson said, we had a few community meetings in Wallace throughout the years with the school board and the county council. So we'll be starting that again in March. And so we got a tentative date. Once we get it cleared, we'll kind of announce it. And it's just to let everybody know what each agency's kind of doing. We're unincorporated, but it would let everybody know what's going on about telehealth, just everything that we're doing. So we want to start that. And we'll be coming. Not everybody has social media. Some people just like the old-fashioned face-to-face meeting where they can have some interaction with council members, staff, and school board members, and all involved. So we'll be having that in March.
Yeah.
Good evening, good night, and drive safe.
I just echo what everybody said. I think everything's pretty much been said. Just thank everybody for coming out, and thank your staff. I know we had a long day today, right here, but that's all.
Yeah, I'd like to again thank all the staff for all the hard work. I'd like to thank Mr. William Simon for coming tonight. Also, early in January, I had the opportunity to work with you and Mr. Clyburn to set up that original warming station, put it together in a couple of hours. So helped some people out, I'm sure. But anyway, that shows the teamwork now between the city of Bennettsville and Marlboro County. Update on Lake Powell Wallace, that's a big concern of everybody. Jason Luck, our House member, he has requested originally I think $10 million. I think he's bumped it up to $12 to $14 million on the House side for Lake Powell Wallace. J.D. Chapman sent me a message early this afternoon. DNR has actually requested $24 million to do the Lake Powell Wallace project. The estimations from DHEC, and they've looked at the engineering plans, is between 22 and $24 million. And in case if you don't know, there was about 3 plans. One was a no plan. The second plan, which is the one that's going to be approved for about $24 million, the original basin out there will be bigger, some more change in the dimensions of it, but it'll be roughly about the same, and it'll actually be a little bit of overkill according to DHEC, so it will suffice in replacing and getting the lake back open. Hopefully the engineer plans come through, can start maybe this fall with the demolition anyway. Town of McCall, unfortunately with the loss of Mayor Garner, we have a special election coming up on March the 4th. At this point in time, you can vote absentee. Next week, between the 18th and the 21st, and the following week from the 24th to the 28th, you can vote early right here behind the courthouse up the street at the voter registration office. They're open from 8:30 to 5. And everybody have a great week.
The reason why they said they had a long day today, we've been here since 11 o'clock. We had a workshop, and work from straight through. And then we came straight to the council meeting. So that's why a lot of kind of peaked it. But the workshop was great. It was well. We covered a lot of ground. My colleagues said we could have some community meetings. I would love for y'all ladies to come. We keep y'all in the loop because when the community meeting come, we can have all the citizens, admitted citizens that can come, and y'all can be able to reach out to a lot of people. Because the last thing we want to see is one of our young ones done passed out with opioid problem, and we could have been a helpmate. And we want to help y'all as much as get the word out as possible. I do like to thank all my colleagues for coming out, sacrificing the whole day for this workshop. It will be one of, not too many more, but we got one or two more ahead. Ms. Regina, we thank you for the work you do in the grant world. It means a lot to the county. Mr. Clyburn, fly, eagle, fly. Let you fly for a little while, but we thank you for your work and your service, and you too, Mr. Simon, for y'all working together. It shows that when we all work together, we can all get a lot done. Mr. Tony McNeil, you will not go unnoticed. You got a lot of irons in the fire. And this is the man who come up with all these funny names, camouflage, honey bun. That's him. That's the name creator. But with that being said, I need to hear what I need to say. Oh, there you go.
Second.
This motion and discussion.
Nah.
Show of hand.